10 deadliest soap locations in Coronation Street, Emmerdale and EastEnders. So here are the frightful facts on the horror hotspots of soapland. Anyone planning to move to Weatherfield or Walford should steer clear of these places. They might just live a bit longer. The Rovers Return Never mind the punch-ups or getting barred by the owners. This backstreet boozer has literally been the death of some residents. Nosey gossip Martha Longhurst dropped dead from a heart attack in 1964 and was later believed to be haunting the Rovers. Years later in 2005, Deirdre Barlow's ex-husband Ray Langton passed away from cancer during Ken and Deirdre's wedding reception. Disaster has struck the pub several times, with punters trapped by a lorry crash in 1979 and Deirdre fearing baby daughter Tracy was buried beneath the wreckage. The place has gone up in flames twice, almost killing landladies Bet Lynch in 1986 and Stella Price in 2013. Sunita and firefighter Toni were less lucky. Underworld Considering 5 of its previous owners are now dead. Brothers Paul and Liam Connor, Toni Gordon, Frank Foster and Aidan Connor. There's clearly a curse on the local clothing factory. Toni and Frank both became twisted after falling in love with boss Carla Connor, and died in shocking circumstances. They haven't been the only dead bodies found on the premises. In 2011, Fiz Stape entered the factory to find her hubby John digging up the body of Colin Fishwick, whose identity he once stole. And employee Kasia met her death on duty when she fell down the stairs while carrying too many boxes in 2007. The bistro owners Robert and Michelle Preston certainly don't want their customers knowing Michelle got shot and serial killer Pat Phelan was fatally stabbed in the restaurant kitchen by Anna Windass a few months ago. It could be super bad for business. But then again, running a restaurant beneath the railway viaduct was always gonna be risky. Don't forget this was the location of the infamous tram crash in 2010 which killed residents Ashley Peacock and Molly Hobbs. The Queen Vic, 2 of the previous landlords, Dan Watts and Archie Mitchell, were murdered, both clobbered over the head. Max Branning's children Bradley, Lauren and Abby Branning all fell off the pub roof and Grant Mitchell's wife Tiffany died on the doorstep after being hit by Frank Butcher's car. The pub has been set on fire a few times and the occasional gunman has gone on the loose, most recently nasty Aidan Maguire. But still, none of that seems to stop the locals from regularly packing out the pub for a right old knees up. E20 Walford's Thumpin' Pumpin' nightclub ain't exactly the Ministry of Sound, but it's still a major danger zone. Billy Mitchell burned down the club in 2004 after being sacked from his barman job, but accidentally trapped Martin Fowler's niece Vicky inside. And in 2010 Jack Branning got shot by dodgy mates of his nephew Billy Jackson. Surprisingly, only one main character, Saskia Duncan, has met their doom at the local nightclub. Saskia was the ex-girlfriend of club owner Steve Owen and tried to wreck his marriage to Mel and then attempted to kill him. But Steve lashed out with a heavy glass ashtray and accidentally killed Saskia with a blow to the head. With the help of club DJ Matthew Rose, Steve buried Saskia's body in the woods. The murder was exposed again this year, when Steve's son Hunter discovered the truth about his dad's killer crime. The Woolpack some might consider being on the receiving end of a tongue-lashing from stroppy landladies Chaz and Charity Dingle. Dangerous enough. But far worse has happened at the Village Boozer. Ever since the infamous plane crash of 1993 almost demolished the place, the locals have entered the pub at their own peril. In 2004, Marlon Dingle's wife Tricia was crushed by falling bricks outside the pub during a heavy storm. Then in 2013, Debbie Dingle's killer ex-Cameron Murray was electrocuted in the flooded cellar after a tense siege. And there have been a few close calls too, with Alicia Gallagher shot and Chaz accidentally stabbing friend Diane Sugden thinking she was a burglar. Home Farm Good Life Insurance is recommended for anyone moving into the big house as the place is prone to robberies, fires and explosions and clearly has a death curse. Just ask present villager Jimmy King. The wealthy King family moved into Home Farm in 2004. But over the next few years, Jimmy's dad Tom, brothers Max, Matthew, Carl and wicked stepmother Rosemary all died in shock circumstances. In fact, most of the previous occupants have kicked the bucket, including Frank Date, 1997, Chris Date, 2003, Mark Wilder, 2010, and this year Lawrence and Chrissy White. Dee Valley University Hospital Hollyoaks Village easily has the highest body count in all of Soapland. Over the years we've seen shootings, electrocution by Christmas lights, a Ferris wheel plunge, somebody impaled on a pole, a railway crash, sabotaged parachute and countless characters whacked over the head by heavy objects. But in 2015, the local coroner must have been working overtime when patients at the hospital began being bumped off by a mystery-gloved hand killer. The 7 victims dispatched by lethal injection were midwife Mariam Andrews, Phoebe McQueen, Trevor Oils' son Dylan Jenkins, drug dealer Ashley Davidson and Dr. Charles Savage. The killer was later unmasked as deadly Dr. Lindsay Butterfield, who also made attempts on 5 other lives, including her own sister Kim, boyfriend Freddie Roscoe and love rival Mercedes McQueen. But in a killer twist, Lindsay became the victim when Silas Blissett, who had previously terrorized the village, strangled her. The dog in the pond, like the pubs elsewhere in Soapland, the dog has had some serious health and safety issues over the years. For starters, 5 characters were killed off in 2006 when rapist Sam Owen torched the place and it went kaboom. More recently, Nathan Nightingale fell to his doom from the upstairs window after discovering his dad Mac was having an affair with Nathan's fiancée Lisa Lavide. Mac's vengeful daughter Ellie later shoved him out the same window. But the fall wasn't fatal and Mac is currently a patient in a care home, no doubt plotting revenge. Il knows nobody ever died from food poisoning at Chef Toni Hutchinson's Italian-themed restaurant. But the business literally exploded in 2010 when it was the target of an arson attack. The fiery blast killed both Steph Rode and Malachi Fisher. Tony found himself accused of arson to claim on the insurance, but the real culprit was Tony's half-brother Dom, who was later arrested.